Hi, today we're going to explain the concept of the mole and the Avogadro number. When students start studying the concept of the mole, it confuses them a bit, and it's really not so difficult. A mole is just a quantity that defines exactly a number of units. For example, the best way to think of it is analogies. For example, when I talk about a pair of anything, I mean a group of two units. When I'm talking about a trio, I know it means 3 units. When I'm talking about a dozen, I know I'm talking about really 12 units of whatever we're talking about. It can be a dozen of football players, it could be a dozen of cars, it can be a dozen of anything. Okay? Well, a mole is exactly that. It is a specific number of units. It's like a packet containing a number of units. When we're talking about a dozen, we know it's a packet that contains 12 units. When we're talking about a mole, we're talking about a packet that contains a number of units. And what is that number? Okay. So what people did in the International System of Units, what they did is they said that 1 mole is the number of atoms in 12 grams of carbon 12. So what they did was basically they got a specific substance which is called carbon 12, a specific type of carbon, and they got a block or a number, they got that substance and they measured 12 grams of that substance, and they counted how many atoms there were in exactly 12 grams of carbon 12. And they found out that the number was 6.022140076 times 10 to the power of 23, which we normally use as 6.022 times 10 to the power of 23. Okay, so 1 mole is 6.022 times 10 to the power of 23 units. It is like a packet that contains, if this is 1 mole, it contains exactly 6.022 times 10 to the power of 23, whatever we're counting. So if, for example, we could talk about a mole of football players, and it would be 6.022 times 10 to the power of 23 football players. A mole of bananas would be 6.022 times 10 to the power of 23 bananas. Okay, we don't normally count big substances with this number because, as you see, it's a huge number. So we know it normally refers to small quantities. For example, ions, atoms, molecules. Okay. So, for example, if I talk about 2 moles of atoms of hydrogen, I'm talking about 2 times 6.022 times 10 to the power of 23 atoms of hydrogen. That's 2 moles. Because I substitute the packet mole for the number of, or the word mole for the number of units it contains. So we're talking about 8 units, 8 ions of helium. I'm talking about 8 times 6.022 times 10 to the power of 23 ions of helium, and so on. Okay, so the concept is really easy. It's just a packet containing a specific number of whatever we're counting. Okay, and that number is 6.022 times 10 to the power of 23. Okay, and that number is what we call the Avogadro number. It has a name. Okay, so I hope this helps you to understand the concept of mole. It's really easy. Just think of the analogy of dozen. Dozen is 12 units. 1 mole is 6.022 times 10 to the power of 23 units. And that is what we call the Avogadro number. I hope it helps.